Hi, Dave Jones here. We're going to look at a total beginner. This is a first lesson for a beginner really, is how to read a thing called tablature, or tab for short. And if you're going to follow any of the lessons on this site that have got single line melodies, which is probably the best way to start, and if you're going to learn the basic scales and stuff, you really need to learn how to read tab, because that's how most of them are written out. Or indeed any site that you're working with, you need to know how to read tab. And I'm also going to do a quick lesson on rhythm as well, because I think rhythm is quite important. I mean, although you don't necessarily need to learn to read music if you want to play more contemporary styles of guitar, that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn, but the rhythm reading is quite important, because sometimes you can look at the stave above and get the rhythm of the tab from the notation. It's all a bit, might sound a bit strange to you at the moment, because obviously you'll be a total beginner, but I'll explain it all as we go along. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a close-up of some tab. You can print this off the site, and there's lots of blurb and explanation on the PDF as well, but I'll just go through it with you, and then I'll sort of play you the bit that I've written in tab. It's not particularly music, it's not meant to be a musical phrase, it's just meant to show you how to read it, and then you can move on. Okay, so I'll just show you a close-up, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so this is the PDF that you can print off of the website. Now, the top line here is called a stave, musical stave. You may have seen this before, and it's got like various notes on, which I'll go into later. And the bottom line here is called tab, T-A-B, down the side. And what it is each one of these lines, there's 6 lines here as opposed to 5 up there. Each one of these lines is a guitar string. The bottom one, the lowest one, being your thickest string on your guitar. And on the PDF I've written here, to learn the names of the strings, there are various little sentences you can use, but one of them that's quite common is elephants and donkeys grow big ears. And what that does, that takes you from the thick E string here to the thin E string there, and they go E, A, D, G, B, E, or elephants and donkeys grow big ears is a good way to remember it. Now the numbers on the strings, these, like say your 6 strings, your E, A, D, G, B, E, the numbers refer to the frets that you press down on the guitar to achieve the note. The 1 being the first fret, 2 being the second fret, 3 being the third fret, etc. And a 0, which we've got a couple here, means an open string. That means you don't put any fretting hand fingers on, you pluck the string without any fingers on it at all. So that's the tab idea, and like I say, I'll go through it with you in a sec as well. On the stave idea, that what I was talking about with the reading rhythms, is all of these notes, which is where music is sometimes slightly better, has a different length of duration that you play it for. This first note here, the one on its own in the first bar, is called a semibreve, and it lasts for 4 beats. This one here is called a minim, and it lasts for 2 beats. That's one of the with the stem on but not coloured in. This one here is which is coloured in with the stem on, is called a crotchet, and it lasts for 1 beat. And these ones here are sometimes beamed together, or sometimes you see a little stem coming off of them. They're called quavers, and they last for half a beat. So what I'll do is I'll sort of play you through this slowly, and then I'll play it through with the correct rhythm, so you get the idea of how to read it. Okay, well this is a close-up of the guitar. This white piece here is called a nut, and these metal things are the frets that you use when you're playing with your playing the tab. That's what the numbers refer to. So if you've got the PDF there, the first note is on the thick E string, which is the top one. Although it's the bottom of the tab, it's the top thick string. And what you do there is you play, it's got number 1, so you put your finger on just behind the fret, not directly over it, just slightly behind the fret, but not back here, because you won't get a clear note. Just slightly behind the fret, and you play that string once, because the 1 means the finger, the fret, sorry, not how many times you play it. And then in the second bar, you'll see we've got a 2, and this time it's on the D string, so elephants and donkeys. So we're on the D string, and we hold that down, and we play the number 2. And then you see that the next number on there is a 2, and this time it's moved down a string. It's on the G string. So we move down to the G string, play the 2. And then as we move on to the third bar, we've got 2 again, then 0. 0 means you take your fingers off, play the G string, open. So if you follow that along, I won't go through all of them because you should be getting the gist of it by now, but if you follow that along, you should find that that you get the idea with the sort of actually reading the tab. And I'll just show you a bit about the rhythm as well. Okay, so hopefully you've got the idea with the tab, and there's lots of tabs on the website. Some probably look at under the tab single line melodies. There's a few there that you'll be able to do. Things like Mission Impossible, James Bond are relatively easy to start with. There's one called Low E Blues in the lesson section. So a thing about the rhythm now, like I said, the first beat, that's on the stave now, the top line, it's called a semi-breve and it lasts for 4 beats. If you were counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The next notes last for 2, then the next notes last for 1, and the next bunch of notes, the quavers, last for half a beat. So each bar is separated by a line that you can see on the PDF, and each line, each bar adds up to 4 beats. That's what the 4/4 thing at the beginning means, 4 beats in a bar. So if I play through, not the notes now, this is not the tab I'm playing now, this is just the rhythm. If I've got a beat that's going 1, 2, 3, 4, the first bar will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, last bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I wouldn't try that if you're a beginner playing it on the string. You can just tap the rhythm. So you've got, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. The first bar goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's following all the bars along. First bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar. So the reason that I think the rhythm is quite important to get used to is you could learn tunes that if you've got a music book, you can learn tunes that you don't actually know necessarily what they sound like, but they've got tab above, a rhythm above, and then you can clap the rhythm first and then play the tab, and it should sound like the tune, providing you try it slowly. So what I'll do is I'll play you through the tab that I've written, following the rhythm that I've written above. Like I say, this isn't it's not supposed to be a massively musical phrase, it's just to get you used to reading the tab. Okay, so I'll play you through that little phrase. Like I say, it's not very musical, it's just to get you used to reading the tab, and I'll play it with the rhythm that we've written above, and I'll count it through. I'll do it really, really slowly so you can get the idea of what it should sound like with all the notes, with the correct durations. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so I hope you got that and find it useful. Once you've got the tab, there are millions of tab sites up on the internet. Not all of them have rhythms written above them, but the thing is you only need to read the rhythm if it's a tune that you don't really know. And to begin with, I would advise you to learn simple tab tunes that you know the note durations of in your head, so you can clap the tune and then just play. Okay, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again sometime.